Hey everybody, Jason here of GhostbustersNews.com, and as always, Ghostbusters News right here on YouTube. And this weekend not only saw a surprise Ghostbusters Afterlife screening at New York Comic-Con, but a review embargo for the film has been lifted, offering up, for the most part, spoiler-free reviews, and giving fans a better idea of what to expect when the film arrives exclusively in theaters on November 19th. Now, as of this video's recording, Ghostbusters Afterlife currently holds an 86% rating on RottenTomatoes.com, with the majority of critics praising the film. Ghostbusters Afterlife emerges as a widely successful next installment. Make no mistake, this is a Ghostbusters movie through and through. One of the best movies of the year. Now, being a direct follow-up to the first two Ghostbuster films, it certainly seems that Afterlife will have a heavy dose of nostalgia, with Rosie Knight of IGN Movies saying, "There are enough Easter eggs to make a grown man cry." Joey Magnuson of Awards Radar added, "With some of the best use of nostalgia, as well a splendid sense of what's fun with this material, it's an utter joy to take in." Now, some did criticize the film's callbacks, with Myra E. Gates of Nerdist saying that the film leans a little too hard into fan service with too heavy a knowing wink. IO9's Jermaine Lucier shared a similar statement saying, "You go from caring about these characters to being distracted by all the references, and that's a real shame." Now, one area of the film that the vast majority of reviews seem to agree on is its cast, giving props to the performances that director Jason Reitman was able to get out of the younger talent. Afterlife's engaging cast has the comic beats down, and they also play more fully fleshed people than the first film offered, reflecting the director's interest in character-driven stories. This coming from Sherry Linden of The Hollywood Reporter. McKenna Grace's performance as Phoebe also received high praise, with Caitlin Booth of Bleeding Cool saying, "McKenna Grace as Phoebe walks away with pretty much the entire movie, which is really impressive considering the caliber of talent that we have here. She is a movie star through and through, and you're rooting for her to succeed in whatever way she wants as soon as she appears on screen." Logan Kim's performance as Podcast also appears to be a highlight, with Ollie Richards of Empire Magazine saying he's a fun-sized John Candy. Now, speaking of Logan Kim and McKenna Grace, their on-screen chemistry was touched on by Rosie Knight of IGN Movies. His scenes with Grace are some of the best in the movie and deliver a few of its biggest laughs. Now, being that Stranger Things star Finn Wolfhard does have such a dominant role in the film, there have been a lot of comparisons between Ghostbusters Afterlife and Stranger Things, with Chris Bombray of Joe Blow Movies Network saying, "To be sure, this new Ghostbusters skews a bit younger than the original film did. It seems partially inspired by Stranger Things in this way. However, director Jason Reitman knows his father's franchise and also knows that you can't make it too vanilla, so the kids are edgier than you'd think. There are very much approximations of the characters played so iconically in the original films. Grace's Phoebe is an Egon-like scientist, Kim's Podcast is a crazy conspiracy theorist, a la Ray. O'Connor's Lucky is the realist, kind of like a Winston. At the same time, Wolfhard's Trevor is the girl-crazy cut-up, with a big thing for Lucky. He's the Venkman of the group." Now, Variety's Peter DeBruge compared the film to another 80s hit, The Goonies, mentioning that the film will be accessible to both new and old fans alike, saying that Afterlife was designed to work for those who've never seen any of the franchise's earlier incarnations. And though the film adopts an unmistakable Amblin-esque vibe, there's an obvious what if the Goonies were Ghostbusters sensibility at work here. Director Jason Reitman, who for years never wanted to take over the reins of his father, Ivan Reitman, director of the first two Ghostbuster films, has for the most part received acclaim for Afterlife. Joey Magnuson, once again of Games Radar, says, "Jason Reitman was literally born to make this movie, with all the love and affection of a fan, but with the movie-making chops that have nearly won him an Academy Award." Critics have also seemed pretty optimistic that we'll see more adventures starring Trevor, Phoebe, Podcast, and Lucky, with David Crow of Den of Geek saying, "When Ghostbusters Afterlife ends, it leaves you wanting more." And once again, Jermaine Lucier of IO9 chiming in, "The film does enough world building that you leave hoping to see more from these characters in the future." Now, of course, the future of the Ghostbusters film series does rely on the success of Afterlife, which arrives exclusively in movie theaters on November 19th. Now, that's all I've got for you here right now. As always, be sure to subscribe to Ghostbusters News here on YouTube, bust that bell notification icon to stay up to date with everything that's happening within the Ghostbusters world. If you'd like to join up with Ghostbusters News, check out our Patreon page. We have a link to that down below in this video's description, and I'll see everybody right back here next time.